Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to episode number 24 of the new Orleans Pelicans MyLeague series here on NBA 2K20. So it's going to be back-to-back days for you guys for monthly recaps, as obviously we had the Astros recap yesterday. If you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out. We just can recap what happened for the Astros, but today we're going to recap what happened for the Pelicans. So let's jump right into it. You're looking at the month of February for the Pelicans. Obviously, not that many games are played because the All-Star break was in the middle of it, but we went 4-6 in the month of February, which is a lot better than what we have been doing. And ever since we've hired Barney Rowe, we've gone 7-11 on the season. So just something interesting to take a look at, as he's done a pretty good job, I think, after Alvin Gentry put us in a big hole. Obviously, a losing record is not good, but it is what it is. So let's jump right into a couple of things that have happened in February. We're going to take a look at the award races. The season's starting to wind down, so we'll take a look at how players are doing. And we start off with the MVP award, which is capped off by two Lakers, which is not surprising considering they have lost 2 games all year. But nonetheless, MVP race looks like it's LeBron's leading it now. Steph Curry's kind of fallen out. I don't know if he should get it, but I like Anthony Davis better. But LeBron has put, consistent stats across the board. If you take a look at his per 30 minutes, he is having one heck of a season. I mean, we saw him participate in the 3-point challenge, and LeBron's never been over threes, so he's going for MVP number 5. Rookie of the Year, Ja Morant still leads the way. Zion's still not up there because he missed so many games. Not much has changed here. He still leads with 17.9 points per game. Sixth Man of the Year, Dennis Schroeder in the Thunder, as having a heck of a season as a 6-man, 24.2 points per game. Nice to see Schroeder getting some points. Defensive Player of the Year, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the long Greek freak, is looking like he might win a Defensive Player of the Year award. I don't think he's won one. He just won all defense last year. Most Improved Player, Terry Rozier and Malik Monk. So 2 Hornets still leading the way. They both led it the last time. Scary Terry, new point guard in Charlotte. And that's the award races on the season. So another month down, let's take a look at season awards. Here have been the players of the week in the month of February. See Ben Simmons, Giannis, Trae Young in the East, and then 2 Warriors, Russell and Curry, and Paul George in the West. Players of the month, actually not listed. Wow, maybe I need to sim a game. So sorry about that one. So let's go to be next. We'll take a look at the player stats. We'll go straight into the stats. Let's take a look at our team first. Our points per game leader is Zion Williamson, averaging 21 points per game. 21 points, 8.2 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 1.3 steals, 1 block. Zion has been a beast in the games he has played. Let's go to stats now. He is averaging a 24.6 points per 36 minutes, shooting 54 field goal percentage. We'd like to see his free throw percentage go up, but Zion has been an animal. Jrue Holiday, 18.6 points per game. That is a little down from his last year, 21.2. His shooting stats are down a little bit this year, which is kind of concerning because I still like Jrue Holiday and want him to be a big part of this team. So hopefully he can pick it up in the past couple months. He has been our go-to guy, but I think maybe with Zion being over, he's kind of taken some of his spotlight. JJ Redick up next, 13.7 points per game. I was very hard on JJ Redick before the trade deadline and wanted to trade him, but he has played really well since then. I mean, he's knocking down the 3 ball, shooting it actually better this year at 41%. I've actually been very happy with JJ Redick, and if he doesn't retire, maybe he'll be back next year. But he will be turning 36 years old. I think we do have him on contract for another 2 years. So actually 1 year. So we'll see if JJ Redick comes back, but he's kind of shut me up, and I like to see that. Next up, Brandon Ingram averaging 13.7 points per game. He's kind of had some of his minutes chopped down because of Michael Porter Jr., but he has played solid. His numbers are down a little bit field goal wise, but 3-point percentage, shooting 35%. Not having as good of a season as last year, but I still like Ingram. He will be a restricted free agent, so we can bring him back. It's just probably going to cost a pretty penny. Speaking of Michael Porter Jr., he's up next, 12.2 points per game. I've really liked what I've seen since we traded for him from the Nuggets, and I think he will be a big part of this team. We've seen him put up 20 points games, like a couple in a row. He had 22 points 2 games in a row. Let's take a look at his recent games. Yep, 22 points. He did have 2 against the Lakers, but we got absolutely crushed in that game. 13 versus the Cavs, 20 points versus the Thunder. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. has played very well since coming over, and I've liked what I've seen from him a whole lot. Next up, Derek Favors. He's averaging 9.7 points per game, 10 rebounds per game. Big man getting some solid action. He's had a couple of games this year as well where he's kind of taken over and played really well. So he is on a 1-year deal, so we would have to bring him back through free agency. I would like to maybe. Jackson Hayes, who we'll talk about in a second, hasn't necessarily played the best. So maybe Derek Favors will be back. Who knows? Next up, Jrue Holiday, 9.5 points per game. Another backup. He has played solid, I guess. Let's take a look at his stats compared to other seasons. His field goal percentage is down. His points per 30 minutes is down. He is a free agent this year, and although he is still young at 24, I don't really see us bringing him back necessarily. We do have Jackson Hayes, who has played more of the 4 this year, but I like Jackson Hayes as the 5. He is tall, and I think he fits better as a center. So I don't think Jrue Holiday will be back, unfortunately. Lonzo Ball, 8 points per game. I mean, I have a lot to say about Lonzo Ball. I just don't know if I can fit it all into a video. But Lonzo, I mean, I want him to be the point guard of the future. I really do. But he is just not an offensive weapon at all. I mean, it's 36 field goal percentage, 26 from 3. At least his free throw is up. But I mean, Lonzo is just... he has just not played well this year. I mean, let's just face it. His assists have been way up. But, I mean, whenever I throw him on the point guard, the starting point guard, he gets like no points. And I like a point guard who can facilitate, but if need be, can, also score. And Lonzo just hasn't proven that. He is under contract for next year. Maybe we'll see if we can move him around this offseason. Maybe he'll come back as the backup point guard, but he is not a starting point guard. And that's kind of put us in a bad spot where Jrue Holiday's had to play starting point guard, and I like Jrue Holiday more as an off-ball guard. So Lonzo, he's really put us at a very tricky spot. We'll see what happens in the offseason. The point guard position will be the position to watch this offseason. So there's that. We have E'Twaun Moore, who is a 2-3 shooting guard, small forward. He has played some point guard this year. I don't know why. He's not really a point guard, and then he gets kind of killed on the defensive end because he's not really fast enough. But he has shot 7.4 points per game. His three-pointer is on pace as what he did last year. I think he's hit a couple knockdown 3 for us. He is a free agent. I can't really imagine him demanding a ton of money this offseason, so maybe he gets brought back. Who knows? Josh Hart up next, 4.8 points per game. Another young player at 24 years old. His three-pointer's gotten better. I don't really think he's got a lot of minutes this year. I mean, let's take a look at where's his minutes per game. 16.2 minutes. I like him. 24 years old. I think he's still got some potential. I think he is a free agent. No, okay, so we do got one more year of Josh Hart. So I think we'll definitely expect to see him back. Next up, the aforementioned Jackson Hayes. He's averaging 4.1 points per game in his rookie year, 4 rebounds per game. The former 8 overall pick at 7 feet. I think he definitely has a future. I would have maybe liked for him in a perfect world be the center next year, but I really don't think he's shown too much to be the center. I mean, he's shooting 34% for a center, which is pretty bad. So I think he'll come off the bench again next year. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, we saw him play in one game very early in the season, very long time ago, and then he went down with a fractured leg, so not much really to say about him. Frank Jackson, we've seen get some minutes recently thanks to, resting JJ Redick, but I don't think he'll be on the team next year. Same with Kendra Williams. And Darius Miller's missed all of the season. So that's that, and then a couple of G League guys. So that's for our team. Let's see who leads the team in rebounds. I think it was Derek Favors. Yeah, it was 10.1 rebounds. Assist-wise, Lonzo does lead the way. Steals, Jrue Holiday, followed by Ball and Zion. Blocks per game is Favors now. Zion used to be first. And then, I already did steals. Okay, so that is our team stats. Let's take a look at the league leaders now, see who's dominating the league. And Steph Curry still leads the league with 38.7 points per game. He has been basically on the 40 mark all season long and has led the Warriors. Giannis, the reigning MVP, is second with 35.3. I mean, LeBron James is sixth, MVP it looks like, leader. And then a couple other players you see at the top. Rebounds per game is Andre Drummond, 15.9. And he is a free agent this year. So Andre Drummond is going to probably be the prize free agent. He did make the All-Star team. And he's saying, I'm not against returning to the Pistons at all, but I'm going to see what I'm worth in free agency this summer. And it is going to take a lot for him to return to the Pistons. But the Pistons have played good this year. He is currently making 27 mil. I imagine he'll be north of 30 mil. So that'll be something to watch. We're probably not going to go after Drummond, but he could be a force. Rudy Gobert is also tied with him, 15.9, but he's out with a twisted left knee, followed by DeAndre Jordan, Giannis, and Clint Capella. Assists per game, we have Rajon Rondo averaging 9.6. So nobody's averaging more than 10. Rajon Rondo's obviously got some weapons to assist to, so that's not really surprising. Then good old Chris Paul out in OKC with 8.9. Then Kyle Lowry. LeBron James, 8 assists per game for a small forward, so he's up there. And then steals per game, Chris Paul, always been a phenomenal defender, leads the way, followed by Drummond's got 2.4 steals per game. So Drummond with the quick hands down in the paint. Paul George, Jimmy Butler, and Kawhi Leonard round out that category. Blocks per game, Rudy Gobert is averaging over 3 blocks, over 3.5 blocks, followed by Miles Turner, Andre Drummond, Anthony Davis, and Joel Embiid. Who's the first non-center who's averaging blocks? Giannis, 2.1. So the reigning MVP obviously showing out. Now we'll take a look at a quick rookie report. And Zion is leading the league in points per game. He just doesn't qualify as a rookie of the year because he missed so many games. Otherwise, he would be a sure in for that. But his old college teammate is second, RJ Barrett with 18.3. See, rebounds per game, Zion leads the way there as well, followed by RJ Barrett. Assists per game, John Morant, this is where he leads with 6.4. That's kind of where he takes over RJ Barrett for best rookie so far. RJ Barrett's not even close in the assist category. He also leads with steals at 1.6. And block is actually going to go to Grant Williams from Boston, followed by Rui Hachimura out in Washington. And then we have 2 players in the top 5 with block, Zion and Jackson Hayes. So that is the rookie report. We'll take a look at team stats lastly. And where do we sit in the league? We are currently the 27th team, so sitting in the 4th spot in the lottery, just behind the Suns. Points per game we're very low at as well. We're actually the lowest scoring team in the league. Wow, I did not know that, so that stinks. Points per game, however, I think we're pretty league average. Yeah, we're exactly 15th, 112.8 for an 8.3 differential, which is one of the worst in the league. Field goal percentage, we're very low at, obviously the lowest scoring team, 44.8%. 3-point shooting, we're terrible, 31.7%. Free throw, 70.6%. So Lakers, who are actually the best team, are the worst shooting free throw team. That's kind of funny. I think it's always been like that. But so we just need to get better on the offensive boards, it looks like, just getting some points. So that'll be a target this offseason. Take a look at, last thing, I want to take a look at the standings. That's what I was missing. I knew I was missing something. So league standings in the West, the Lakers have already clinched, sitting at 57-2, followed by the Rockets, Clippers, Nuggets, Warriors, Jazz, Timberwolves, and then the Kings have the 8th spot with 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so Kings sit at the 8th spot. Actually, I'll just go to playoff picture. That'll probably be easier. So Kings sit at the 8th spot. They are half game up on the Spurs, whose playoff streak is on the line down the stretch, and the Portland Trailblazers. And then in the East, it is the 76ers, who are 53-7, followed by the Detroit Pistons, Orlando Magic sitting at a 3 seed. Bulls, reigning champs, Raptors are 5th. Milwaukee's down in the dumps, 30-29 in the 6th spot, but if they play the Magic, the Magic would have to draw the worst spot, being a 3 seed in that occasion. Nets are 7th, Boston is 8th, and they have a half-game lead on the Cavs, so the Boston might miss the playoffs. A couple other teams who might miss it, Miami, a couple of good teams, the Pacers, who have been solid so far. So East is looking interesting, but it's mostly been a 2-horse race all season with the Lakers and the 76ers. But that is going to close out our February recap. I don't think I'll do a March recap just because there's not that many weeks after March. And I honestly don't know how many more games I'm going to play in this season. I might do a lot of simming. I might just do a whole episode on simming. I do want to get to season 2. I do want to get through 2 seasons before NBA 2K21 comes out. I know this season has taken me forever to get to. I was just very busy at the end of last year and had a lot come up. So, but I've liked the pace that I moved at now. I'm not sure what game I'll do next, so I'm just going to start off the very next episode by simming some games. I might have one more college hoops episode. I think I'm going to do the NCAA tournament episodes, so for that we'll be on the lookout in about the coming episodes. But other than that, I don't really have much for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe down below for more NBA and MLB content. I enjoy. Thank you guys so much for all the support. And this is Mr. Rob, and I'm saying class is dismissed.